All right, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the call. Welcome to the call. Welcome to the call, partners, AURUM partners. Fasten your seatbelts. Let's get this opportunity rocking. Let us know where you're calling in from. And good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. We've got Canada, Norway, Slovakia, Netherlands, South Africa, Brazil, Ireland, Hawaii, Dubai, Switzerland, Mongolia, Greece, welcome, Texas, Germany, UK, whoa, Philippines, Los Angeles again in the house, Houston, Nassau, Belgium again, Nigeria, Ireland, welcome, Canada. This call is almost completely full. So make sure you take a second here to text out quickly to your partners to get on this call. You're not going to want to miss this call. Welcome, Brazil, Malaysia, Russia. Welcome, India. Welcome, Pakistan in the house. Hungary, France. Welcome to the call, Vietnam. Good morning or good afternoon. Canada in the house. Canada, welcome to the call. Maryland, Chicago, South Africa, Nigeria, St. Petersburg, Lagos, that must be Nigeria again, Indonesia, Portugal, Italy in the house, Bulgaria, Greece, welcome, Mexico, Netherlands, Cyprus, New Jersey. We have awesome call for you guys lined up wherever you're calling in from this evening or this morning or this afternoon. Let's get this call started. My name is Shane Morand. I'm the Chief Network Development Officer here at AURUM. And I really want to start off by saying how grateful and excited I am to see so many partners, connected from all over the world tonight. We're about a couple seats away from being completely filled here. So welcome. And we've just come out. I just wanted to take a second here of a real incredible season. Just think about it. Just a few short weeks ago, AURUM sponsored the Cannes, France Ethereum event with a VIP dinner. Then we went on to Paris Blockchain Week, where AURUM, in my opinion, and I'm biased, but AURUM was the star of the show for the biggest event in Europe here, Blockchain Week. And we were on the center stage and spotlighted, to launch actually new technology that's taking our vision, AURUM's vision, for AI finance to a completely new level that's never been seen before. This technology was unveiled by Andrew Isaacs, who you're going to meet very, very shortly here. He's AURUM's COO. He unveiled it for the very first time in the Maldives with the top AURUM leaders at that event, and everybody was blown away. And we're just getting started here. Andrew's here with us tonight. Like I said, he's here with us today. We're going to be introducing you to him very, very shortly. Fasten your seatbelts. I think the room is filled now, completely filled, so we can get started here. And to you, to our partners, I've just got to say, you are in the middle of all of this. You're the ones that are causing this unprecedented growth and this excitement that's happening. Tonight is really tonight my time, but maybe it's this morning. Let's say today. It's a leadership call. This is about leadership. This is not a public webinar. This is for our AURUM partners. I just want to be clear on that. The people who have said yes, to all the partners that have said yes, the partners that are building, that are learning, that are representing really the entire AI finance ecosystem that's in front of us. It's just amazing. So thank you to you. And here's our simple agenda for tonight. I'm going to break it down into three simple parts, very easy, so you know what's coming. I'm going to introduce you to someone very, very important to the future of AURUM. You're going to hear directly from him about Nero, the next generation AI trading agent and platform that's already changing how people interact with crypto and how people interact with AI finance. And after Andrew goes through that Nero presentation, we're going to be awarding, this is going to be amazing, fasten your seatbelt, but we're going to be doing the gold reward draw right here, live, right here. It's going to be amazing, so stay tuned, fasten your seatbelt. And then I'm going to conclude today with I'm going to tell you a true story. I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to call this story Meet John. That's the name of the story. But I believe that this story will remind you, every single person in here, exactly why we're here and what's really possible when belief and discipline and the right sector, appear all at the same time. And the sector I'm talking about is AI finance, right? That hardly anybody in the world even knows what that means. And here we are, building and growing very, very fast, right? So if you're ready, all right, we're going to open up the chat in a second here, but if you're really, really ready to hear from Andrew Isaacs, let's just drop a quick yes in the chat. If you're only if you're ready. If you're not ready, we won't continue yet. But if you're ready to hear from Andrew, just drop a yes in the chat. We'll open up the chat here if we go and do that. Look at these; it's going so fast. Yes, 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 yes. Everybody's ready. I think we've got a standing ovation here in the pipelines here for Andrew, which he really deserves when you hear his about his background and everything. Keep it going. Let's keep it going. This is just like a standing ovation for Andrew. All right. All right. We'll continue now. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, what I'd like you to do right now is just drop your country into the comments. We really like to know where you're calling in from. So way to go, everyone. Thank you for your contribution there. We're going to turn that chat on later on again. But now, just to set the stage properly, I really want to introduce the man who is helping architect the institutional on-chain AI driven backbone behind everything that we're doing right here. He has more than 18 years of experience and really in specialized investment banking with over $23 billion in executed transactions and more than $2 billion in digital asset transactions. I like to call this a clue, right? He was the managing director for one of the largest blockchain investment companies in the world. And he sits at the intersection really of traditional finance and the new digital asset world, which we're all a part of here. And he chose to bring that experience right here to AURUM as the COO and Chief Operating Officer. Please help me welcome from AURUM Foundation, our COO, Mr. Andrew Isaacs. All right, Andrew, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Shane. Can you hear me?
Perfect.
Fantastic. Yeah, I can never give myself as good as an introduction as you can, Shane. But obviously, incredibly excited to be part of the team. When the opportunity presented itself, I obviously ran hard at this. This is as I said to Shane and Ahmed and a lot of the leaders, in my experience, I've never seen a company grow at this click. Most notably, especially in the fintech space. Number one, I've never seen a company with as stickiness when it comes to the customers. And finally, I've never seen a company that continues to put out product, right, at a consistent cadence. And not only just product that works, product that delivers consistent returns. And finally, a company that is not just there's no trepidation around AI and how should they approach it. A company that is embracing AI and creating the AI tools of the future. So again, pleasure to be happy to meet everyone. As Shane said, we had a very successful time in the Maldives. Got to meet a lot of the leaders from around the world, and that just obviously compounded my enthusiasm for what's being built here and meeting parts of this AURUM army, if you will. But as Shane said, I've sort of got 18 plus years of specialized financial services experience. I've done investment banking at some of the largest institutions out there, including Morgan Stanley. More recently, I was helping build out the investment banking business at Galaxy Digital, which is what Shane alluded to, and is behind some of the largest M&A transactions in the space. But incredibly excited about AURUM, about the future, and about being part of this team and taking this to the next level. So, Shane, and obviously as Shane has alluded to, going in that order. I think we want to spend the next bit of time here really diving into the product Nera that we unveiled during the Maldives. I want to go sort of into much deeper detail around that. Shane, do you have the presentation up by any chance? Would you want me to do a share screen here?
Yeah, if you
I
can
think
share
you're
the
on mute.
screen, that would be great. If you do you want to?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, let me just
there you go.
okay. All right, fantastic. So can you can see that
Yep,
Shane?
yep, can see.
All right. So again, let's jumping straight into the main purpose of this is to really discuss Nero. By orders of magnitude, one of the most exciting products that I've come across and that I'm excited about. Most notably, this will put the tools for trading directly in the hands of the customer, of the trader, of the individual by means of being a non-custodial trading agent. And so I cannot stress that point enough, even before we jump into the slides. But right now, as it stands today, there is no non-custodial trading agents that exist out there. And as this product evolves and as we go through beta, I think this is most certainly going to take the world by storm. I think the biggest thing to just speak about here is that what does it mean to be non-custodial, right? It means that there's full transparency. It means that customers are not having to move funds out of their wallet, right, to an exchange, which is something out. So they're in full control, of their assets and full transparency in terms of what the returns look like and what their investments are doing on a day-to-day, hour-to-hour basis. So in one user-controlled environment with, executed by state-of-the-art smart contracts. Shane, before I jump and group, before I jump into more about Nera, one part that is critical to the whole ecosystem and also as part of Nera and what it allows us to do in certain geographies and just more broadly is we've actually secured a full Canadian license. Obviously, this marks a major legal milestone in our international expansion. And obviously the registration is done through AURUM Nero AI Technologies Corp. But this really paves the way, in my opinion, and as the opinion of the leaders, into the next evolution of AURUM in terms of what we can do on a global scale. But make no mistake, securing this license is a hell of a milestone and something that everyone can be incredibly proud of. And it really paves the way for really significant expansion. And here's basically what it unlocks, right? Obviously, market access. We know where we can operate today, but we know what this expands us through, not just Canadian, but then North America and then later into the US. Gives us, obviously the legal strength, and having those licenses enables us to really grow and expand. And this is obviously a long-term view. Also on the business development side, it will really help secure and push forward our new partnerships and deeper trust with the users, partners, and our counterparties. And then this is obviously part of our long-term strategic expansion. So again, we can go into it in more detail, but this Canadian license is a huge milestone for the company and one that everyone on this call and the team as a whole should be incredibly proud of and excited about. Jumping, and so if I think about just AI more broadly, right, and everyone's now AI is what everyone talks about, right? I was most recently in San Francisco, and there was a plane flying around with a banner attached that says "Stop hiring humans." So San Francisco has taken AI to a completely new level. And we know who the major players out there in terms of chatbots and in terms of what they're doing. We've obviously got Claude and ChatGPT. There's Midjourney, what it's done for images and visual representation. But Nero is the first of its kind when it comes to algorithmic trading and what we can do from a non-custodial perspective with user-defined strategies, parameters, and boundaries. Again, this is not just another trading interface. It is the agent layer for trading. So as we go through this and, I just cannot stress enough how far ahead of the market this product really is. So if we take a step back and just think about the types of trading that you have out there, you have obviously your manual trading, and everyone's familiar with that. Although manual trading is becoming more and more complex and challenging for people to do out there, no matter how good or talented they believe they are. All the top obviously trading firms out there are employing some level of AI or algorithmic trading to their strategies, but that completely wipes out the individual who doesn't necessarily have access to that. And we've seen the traditional auto trading. These are bots with predefined rules, repetitive execution, but this doesn't necessarily allow the user to define certain things, right? It's a one size fits all. And it doesn't allow the user, the customer, the individual to put boundaries around strategy, capital allocation. And so what you have with Nero here is your very own personalized agent, right? That is going to take the best of what we've developed from an algorithmic perspective and allow you to put your own parameters, boundaries, strategies around that, ultimately, augmenting the capability of the agent itself. And so basically, from a trading perspective, this becomes highly scalable, purely disciplined. You obviously do not have the disciplined and from the manual side, and it's fully agent driven. And again, to stress this, non-custodial. So funds remain in the user's wallet, right? And this is all executed by way of a smart contract. And I don't know how familiar everyone is on this call with standard trading strategies and these sorts of things, but some of the standard things that are out there is what happens when markets swing wildly, right? And emotion kicks in, and timing is not there, and your emotion overrides sort of just clarity or line of thought. What you have here is you just have tools that are going to be at your disposal, working for you 24/7, right? With full transparency, flexibility, and control to make sure that you're gaining at the edge every conceivable inch that you can, with no this is, again, you just remove all emotion and just personal risk from the equation. Again, if I look here, obviously top tier market access, we can see what's there. I want to jump into this is one of the most important parts, right? And I've said a few things as to why this stands out, and I can't stress these things again, but it's transparency, it's non-custodial, it's personalized trading logic aligned with the user-defined strategy and risk. It's the discipline on the execution without the emotional interference. And frankly, what is going to be mind-blowing when you get to try this out and test it is just the user flow, from the wallet connection, live execution, and it's full automation without sacrificing control, which is, again, I think this is orders of magnitude ahead of what's out there today. Obviously behind the scenes, full on, market data with real-time APIs. You have millions of scenario running through execution data, all the analytics. But what you can see on the right-hand side is like, this is a custom agent, right? So this is a trading agent, which there will be, standard agents that are out there that you can copy from. But over time, you can also, users will be able to put in their own parameters and strategies around this, making it more personal, while still holding the integrity of the underlying agent itself, right? And so basically what the user ultimately is inputting here is, their strategy, what they'd like to achieve, the level of risk that they're comfortable with, and the capital that they'd like to execute with. Going just to where we stand in terms of timing here. We've obviously got a closed beta, limited to early users. We're really looking between May and June, so call it over the next 2 months here, to going on the full platform with the launch of the Nero agent. On top of the AURUM ecosystem, users, as I've said before, will be able to create their own personalized trading agents aligned with their strategy and risk. There'll be leaderboards and public agent profiles, which means you'll be able to copy trade the top performing agents, as well as still executing on your own agent and seeing how that does. and the management of the public and private agents with advanced configuration and analytics. So again, you have, for the first time in history, top tier institutional trading tools at your disposal in your wallet, right? With full transparency. This is unheard of. Here's some of the quantum alpha testing results. We saw, call it almost 23% return in running Jan through Feb. Seeing that going up there now to almost 29% through March, and at a 31% return ending in April. So as there's more data, as these agents evolve, as we have more users coming on board, this is just going to get more intelligent and more sophisticated, and capitalize, like I said, everything on the margin, every conceivable return that is out there, trading for you 24/7. 365 directly from your wallet. So where do we stand at this stage? Users connect to Nero by copying the trades of Quantum Alpha in real time through a non-custodial smart contract setup. This is what I've explained before, but I want to keep reiterating some of these things so that there's just no confusion or no ambiguity. But again, I can't stress how simple this is. It's all done through the execution of a smart contract directly from your wallet. Let's look at the way this is going to be rolled out. So the launch of Quantum Alpha was structured in 3 consecutive access waves, gradually opening participation inside the beta environment. As wave 1 opened from 5,000 and was fully filled. Wave 2 opened from 1,000 and was fully filled, and we're now in wave 3. Which is open from 250 and is active. All right. So here we have a special offer for the first users. So during the beta period, and this is a critical point, right? Obviously, the reason we all do this is people care about returns. They want to know, what their money is going to do for them, and obviously, better returns means higher capital allocated to these tools. So during the beta period, you pay 0% performance fee on all profits. So all the profit that a user generates during the beta is 100% yours. Again, this is unheard of, but this is AURUM's special reward for obviously helping us test the Quantum Alpha live. After Quantum Alpha goes fully live, from day 1, 15% performance fee on profits. And then from day 31, it's a 30% performance fee on profits. Again, I covered this earlier, but we're really looking at approximately almost a 31% monthly return. That's monthly return through April 17. So I'll take a second now and to just speak about how compute power works. Obviously, we're going to step into the more technical side of this, but compute power is a huge part of this, right? Because you have these AI agents acting 24/7. The more complex the trades, the larger the user base, the more compute power is required, right? So in Nero, the compute power is tied to the trading agent being created and operate. In the case of Quantum Alpha, right, AURUM itself is the creator of the agent and covers all the compute-related infrastructure costs. Right, so I want to just say that again because it's a critical point. Quantum Alpha is, AURUM is the creator of this agent and covers the compute-related infrastructure costs. That means users are getting institutional-grade AI agents and all the compute power required to let that agent run successfully. All those costs, which are significant, are being covered by AURUM, right? Unheard of. Users copying Quantum Alpha do not need to pay for the compute power behind the agent. Again, so if you go on and you decide to use the AI agent, the Quantum Alpha AI agent, right, you will not be paying the compute power for that. That is covered by AURUM. Over time, should you develop your own agent, right, that will have a compute power cost associated to it. And we can get into that a little bit later. But as it stands now, anyone using Quantum Alpha, the compute power, the cost for the compute power required to run that agent successfully 24/7, 365 is covered by AURUM, and it's not an insignificant cost. Again, things that may seem obvious to some people and others not, but it's worth just mentioning is what affects compute costs, right? So the complexity, right? And, you know, I don't want to use the word infinite, but it's almost up there. The amount of parameters, conditions, and logic layers, if you will, including signals, is not infinite, but it's massive, right? And so the more parameters that go into a said agent will increase the compute cost. The frequency, how often the agent rebalances, resets, and recalculates, that affects complete cost. And then obviously the trading intensity, how actively it executes trades. It could be executing multiple trades a minute. It could be executing a single trade a day. But these three categories, strategic complexity, execution frequency, and trading intensity, all are components of what drives compute cost. So the more complex and active the strategy, the more compute it requires. In Quantum Alpha, right, the creator, AURUM, runs and funds the agent, while the copier follows the strategy without maintaining its infrastructure. So this is just summarizing what I've said previously. The user here is getting to capitalize on a highly complex AI agent without paying a single cent for the compute cost required to maintain that running successfully. So how do we get started? And let me just Shane, if I could just pause here. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yep.
Yeah, I just want to check in with you. I mean, Cadence, has anything? I know we're speaking to a large audience, and a lot of these are technical, but just want to check in with you. You know, if you want me to sort of revisit anything, feel free. I must admit, guys, it's always easier chatting to people in person because I can get a sense of body language and reactions, of people understanding what's going on or not going on. But I think, in summary, you know, what we've covered here is. And it's tough for me, I'll be honest, right? Because I have a lot of experience in these spaces, things that are very native to me and logical and simple. I realize that may not be the case for everyone. But, yeah, Shane, you know, just talking to you here, again, we have a non-custodial AI agent with the compute cost covered fully by AURUM, should people choose to copy the Quantum Alpha, with the latest monthly return sitting now at around 31%. Easy to use, and we're going to go into some of that now in terms of how to get started. But I think we've covered really the fundamentals here, and I cannot stress enough how excited I am about this product. So again, was there anything that
in the Maldives, you know, while we got you here, I know we've got a lot of people that were anxious to meet you and hear from you. In the Maldives, you said something interesting right off the bat, like when we were covering the returns that we were enjoying, I guess, from the last year, or since even AURUM launched in February of 2023 with their initial product. But you came up and said something about, hey man, you guys, these returns are not normal, right? And then you also made another comment about the banks, you know, like a traditional bank, they're profiting as well, but they're just not they're not sharing anything with their customers. And that's, I guess, maybe touch on that a little bit before we go on here.
Yeah, I think the thing that shocked me in the Maldives was Shane was talking about some of the returns, and you know, I looked out at the folks there, and there was it was sort of flat, and I was like, you know, crikey, as these returns relative to what's out there and what people can do is orders of magnitude greater. You know, you have people getting incredibly excited about mid-teens returns, right? That are done successfully. We're obviously orders of magnitude greater than that. And you know, what I'd said to the group there, as well as to Shane, is like, you know, a lot of the large trading shops and large banks are generating these returns through their own alpha desks and specialized trading divisions. The difference between AURUM is those returns are being shared with the users, right? The returns are being shared with the community. There is nothing else like that exists on the planet today, where you are actually capturing a piece of the upside yourself, aside from just a marginal or slim little return. So that was definitely sort of things that stuck out significantly. Thanks for that, Shane.
Yeah.
All right. So, how do we get started with Nero? Yes, it's if it were more simple than this, I don't know how it could get more simple, right? But it's literally just a few steps. You would connect your wallet the same as how you would connect your wallet if you're wanting to do a swap using like Uniswap or something. You would activate access and you would start copying the Quantum Alpha, which is the first live Nero agent. But again, your wallet, you connect, you activate access by way of a smart contract, and it runs. So again, could not be more simple. Now, Shane, should I just hit the video here? Should we let folks see this live? Yeah,
let's show. Yeah, we can show them exactly how simple this is. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, we just need the sound. Yeah.
Just
pause it for a second. I'll show you what to do. Just pause it.
Yeah.
Maybe stop sharing, and then when you come back in the share, just check on the sound. You'll see a little box, so you can share.
Do you want to share the video? Because I didn't realize it would open up in my. Let me figure out how to do this again quickly.
When you go to start sharing, there's a little box that says, do you want to have the sound, and just check that box. And
okay.
When you share it, it'll come on.
All right. So share. Or you can see that again. I'm not seeing the sound though.
Oh, you don't see the box that opens before you click on the video or on the screen that you want to share. There should be a box on the side that says, would you like to have the sound turn on?
Yeah, I'm going to try this one more time, Shane. If you can pull it up on yours, that would be helpful. I don't know why
I'll try real quick here. I'll see if I can do it. Let me see if I have the video here. I've got the PDF.
The video is showing.
Yeah, I only have the PDF. I don't have that video file.
It opens up in Google, but I think everyone can you see the video is playing. It's just but I don't think it has any sound anymore.
It's not sharing. Yeah, it's not sharing.
It is
all right,
without sound. It is without sound, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Fine. All right, everyone can see this?
No, I think it's trying to. Yeah, it's on now. It's there. It's showing MetaMask. Yeah.
Okay.
Hit the play button and let's just see without sound. Yeah. There you go. This is the back office. Yeah, how simple. So. Yeah.
There we go. Subscription confirmed. Okay.
It basically walks you through and just asks you how much would you like to deposit, and click, and it starts pretty well right away. Within minutes, it starts.
Okay. I don't have that's leaving webinar. Okay, so this is not my sharing, so I'm going to go back to the
yeah, there you go.
Okay. All right. Okay. So sorry about the we're developing state-of-the-art AI tools, and all I need to do now is figure out how to successfully share a screen with audio, guys, and then we can conquer the world. So again, these next few slides will just walk through basically a brief summary of what it is. But you would log into your AURUM back office, open your account, go to the main dashboard, as you can see there. You would see in the tab there financial proposals, which is on the left-hand menu. Click to expand it, and then right there you can see Nero, and you would click to open the trading agents page. Like many of you have probably that are familiar with crypto have ever connected a wallet before. It's really vanilla and almost instant. You would go connect the wallet and get access button. This starts the connection of your Web3 wallet to Nero by way of smart contract. And here through Wallet Connect, which again I'm intimately familiar with. I assume a lot of people are. Connect your wallet, connect to Wallet Connect. One critical piece here, which I just want to flag, is make sure that the wallet is set to BNB Smart Chain Network, so that Nero can access all the features, which again is very simple. We can walk through it. Select your wallet, right? In the window, choose the wallet you would want to use with Nero. For example, a variety of these, whether it's MetaMask, Trust, or any other supported option that is there. And there's a meaningful amount of wallets that are supported. Again, make sure the wallet is already installed and configured on the BNB Smart Chain Network before you proceed, right? You need to be configured to the BNB Smart Chain Network before you proceed. That's critical. Then you check your connected wallet, and it will ask you to approve the request. Once that's done, you'll see the connected wallet in AURUM back office. You make sure that that the correct wallet is displayed here. As you can see, in this case, it's Trust Wallet. So you'd want to make sure that your Trust Wallet or your MetaMask, whichever wallet you've decided to connect, is clearly displayed on the screen. And then obviously, if needed, you can disconnect it at any time by clicking disconnect. And then otherwise you just press close, and you will proceed to work with Nero. In step 8 here, return to Nero in the back office. So go back to AURUM back office, open financial proposals and AURUM again. And now we get into the fun part, right? Click get access. And once you've done that, this will activate your early access slot and the link subscribed, and then you link the subscribed funds to Nero. Select Quantum Alpha as your agent, right? And this is the agent that we've been discussing this entire call. So in the top performing agent block, choose Quantum Alpha, and then enter the amount that you want to allocate within your funded balance, and confirm to start copying the agent's trades. So again, albeit 8, 9, 10 steps here, this is all very straightforward. But again, this is full transparency. The funds stay in your wallet. This is all executed via smart contracts. So in level of trust, level of transparency, it makes it incredibly excited to take this to the market. Then you would confirm that the transaction is in your wallet, and your wallet will open a contract confirmation window, which I'm sure many of you have seen before. And you would check that network, for example, make sure it's on the BNB Smart Chain, that the destination and fees are correct, and then click confirm. And then you will approve the transaction. After the confirmation, the funds are subscribed and your Nero agent setup is complete. These are some of the returns that we spoke through earlier, as we see the evolution here, if you will, of the quantum alpha agent. So, if you look at it over 30, 60, 90, 120 day plus, again, we're looking at the 90 to 120 days, 35, 40% is phenomenal. And the part that obviously everyone here should be excited about, let's look at the partner bonus section. So starting from the AURUM Voyager level, AURUM partners can receive up to 30%, right? I'll say that again. AURUM partners can receive up to 30% additional passive income based on their network's profits generated by the Nero trading agents. So, and Shane, these are the numbers that are just crazy to me. But again,
I think Andrew, at this point, our partners, if you just maybe screenshot this page, this is incredible. With the Nero is not exactly like the XAI bot. It doesn't operate in terms of the commissions to the partners, but you can see here the the amount of the ROI that AURUM is sharing back with the partners, I've never seen anything more generous to the partners. I've never seen so many partners so excited to look into their, into their back office every morning to see the returns that they're getting. But this is huge. Now, one big flag that you need to be a voyageur in order to qualify for anything. As a Nova, a brand new person is more like a customer, in my opinion. Once you get to voyageur, you've displayed, that you've got a little bit of volume there, and this is when the fun begins. Voyageur, when you get to Vanguard, it's even better. As you rank up, things just get better, and better. So let's go to and that's it. Is that it? Is that okay? And then these are basically the commissions here with the legacy volume from the partner deposits. All right. So when you personally, when you invite someone yourself, they keep their capital, as a part of their deposits. And it's counted towards your legacy volume, the LV, the legacy volume, depending on how long the funds stay in the agent. So let me just recap this. Can we just go back there to that one slide?
Yeah, can you see it, Shane? I don't know why they're sharing stuff.
Go to the next one. Yeah, go to the next. If you can, someone can advance it. We're just on something there. Okay, we'll back up. Right here. Yeah. Back.
Okay. Yeah.
The other one, the next one, or the one previous. No, back up twice now. There. Okay.
All right. Perfect.
So what we're saying here is with the legacy volume, if the person that you personally invited stays in for 30 days, then the percentage of the deposit basically counted towards the legacy volume is 15%. However, if they stay in for 60 days, it's 25%. If they stay in for 90 days, it's 35%. If they stay for 120 days plus, it's 40%. All right. Maybe again, screenshot this one and then review it. But you know what I find about everything that AURUM does, we can explain the comp plan all day long and sideways and back. But when you experience it, when you go in and you enroll someone, when you go in and use all the different parts of the platform, that's when you have that experiential part of it where now you know that you know that you know. It's not just talk, but this gives you an idea of the legacy volume from the deposits. All right, from its volume from the deposits, not commissions from the deposit. All right, we'll go to the next slide here on the commissions part, Andrew. Yeah, and then the bonuses here. Yeah, wow.
Right. I think we've covered this in detail. It's phenomenal. And
then there's the narrow share pool bonus again, and it really depends on the higher. Let's put it this way: the higher the rank, the more money that you're going to make. So they distribute up to 3.125% of the global profits from everybody, no matter if it's in your group or anywhere in the world. This is a huge global share pool. And all the pools, by the way, are always distributed at our main events, like in the Maldives. Those share pools were divided right there, and the next one is, of course, on the next cruise coming up. We'll go to the next one. Let's see. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Maybe Andrew, keep the share going on, and I'll just talk about, because we're up now for the gold raffle. But just before we get into the gold raffle, I want to open up the chat for a second. Thank you so much, Andrew Isaac, COO. That was powerful. And I'm fired up. I don't know about everybody else. And I'm excited that you've joined you've joined the AURUM team. It's amazing, and I hope the partners, just put a big AI. That's his initials, Andrew Isaacs. Put a big AI in the chat. If you're fired up that Andrew is on the team, go ahead.
Thanks, Shane. I mean, it's always helpful to start with a product that is just revolutionary. But again, incredibly excited about what's here, and I think this is just significant potential for upside momentum and market share growth.
It's huge. Thank you so much. And now we get to raffle off the gold. Everybody's been waiting for this. When are we going to do the raffle? It's right here, right now. We're going to do it live right here. So if we can have our tech team, pop up the screen. And what we're going to do is we're going to raffle based on everyone that entered. We're going to raffle the ID number. So your name won't be mentioned, but we'll contact you to let you know. Some of the prizes here are amazing. If we can pop up the screen, or maybe it's the next slide. We'll maybe move it forward. Here. All right. And we can stop the chat now for a second until we get through this. Awesome. Okay. The first thing, this is what we're going to do. And then we're going to pop up another real-time, I guess it's a randomizer, so that you can see that we're going to randomly pick all of these winners. But we're going to go first with the 5 0.1 ounce gold winners. Then we're going to go to the gold edition iPhone. Everyone wants one of those. And then we're going to go over to the next, followed by the gold mine experience in Africa. And then we're going to choose one winner for $25,000 USDT gold package right here. And the big winner tonight is going to win 10 ounces. And that's about $50,000, guys. So maybe just stay tuned. And we're going to conclude this session tonight with a story that I think is going to amaze you, and it's going to really speak to your heart tonight. So let's go. We'll get our technicians to go ahead, and let's go with the first winner. We're going to do 5 of them for the 0.1 ounce of gold. And if we can share that screen, or where we can give the number out.
Yeah, Shayna, this was the last slide.
Okay. Yeah. No. We'll hand it over to the. There we go. Here we go. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. Here's the randomizer, and let's go to the first draw. We'll do 5 of them, I guess. Right now, we'll do 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Here they are. These are the numbers. Maybe screenshot that, but we will contact these numbers here. You are the first winners. Congratulations.
These are the 5 winners, okay? Give them a chance to delete from the data the winners already.
Oh, he's deleting it. Okay. So that's what did you win? You just won 0.1 ounce of gold. And now we're going to move to the gold edition iPhone. We're giving 1 winner. Who will that winner be? Are we going to do another draw here? Did we do it? Is that it? It's coming. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. And there's the number. Write it down, screenshot it. This is the number. And again, AURUM will be contacting you to deliver your gold edition iPhone. And now we're picking 1 ounce of gold. It's, 1 ounce these days, I don't know, it's in the 4,500 somewhere, maybe approaching $5,000 to one winner. And let's give that thing a spin, and let's find out who the winner is of 1 ounce of gold. There's the number. There's the ID number. We've collected everything here as we go. So we will, again, the corporate will reach out to all the winners. And now, this got to be my favorite right here. This has got to be my favorite, a gold mine experience in Africa, where you can go right into the gold mines, where you see the gold, and it's really a return on energy. To get gold, you can't print up, gold when you want it. There's a lot of energy that goes into even producing 1 ounce of gold. But let's go to the winner. Who is it going to be for an experience? And that is, there we go. There's the ID number. Congratulations, whoever you are, congratulations. We will be reaching out to you with the good news. And now, here we need a drum roll, $25,000 USDT package. Who is it going to be? Let's go. We'll do a countdown. 3, 2, 1 for 25,000. There is I hope you recognize that ID number. If that's you, you might as well do the happy dance. Congratulations. And finally, we're going to the 10 ounce of gold winner. We're going to draw this in a few seconds here, and that's $50,000. Who knows what it's going to be worth in a year from now, too. And let's go to the last winner, approximately $15,000, or $50,000, sorry. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. And the winner is, there you go. Hope you recognize your number, and congratulations to everyone for participating. And thank you so much, Andrew. That was awesome. We're fired up about that new product. We're fired up about the future of AURUM, really doing some amazing things. Now, what I want to do in this final part here is really of this call is really to speak to your heart, not just your head, right? Because technology is one thing, and we're world class, but what really drives this community, what really moves this community forward is you and your belief. It's your belief in AURUM, belief in the vision of creating 1,000 new millionaires using the platform and sharing the platform and sharing AI finance with their own local and global communities. That's what's moving it forward. Belief in the mission that we've set forward. Belief in AURUM itself. Belief in the partner program. Belief in the entire ecosystem that is here. Like Andrew says, he says this is not something that's coming in the future. It's here now, and of course, if you're on this call, you're already benefiting from the use. Belief in the products, in every product and service offered by AURUM. Is it a little belief or is it a big belief? Because what I'm talking about is what is driving us forward. What will drive us forward bigger, better, faster, stronger is the belief. But here's the most important thing I'm going to say, really, for active partners. The most important part of belief is that you got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. As I travel around the world, I used to say there's an epidemic, all right. It is real, but it's not the epidemic people are telling us about. It's the epidemic of people all over the world having a low self-confidence, low self-image, low self-worth. And it's because they don't believe in themselves. And you have to find a way. If you're a partner here, you have to find a way to believe in yourself. You need to believe in yourself bigger, better, faster, and stronger every day. Believe in yourself just a little bit more every week, every month, every year. Believe in yourself more and more and more, because here's the point. If you're one of the people that you just don't believe in yourself, my question to you is, who's going to believe in you? If you don't believe in you, who's going to believe in you as you go out and share this beautiful story about what AURUM is putting together? So really work harder on you than you ever do on any kind of job or any kind of project. And today, I want to tell you a story from inside our own AURUM family. I get the pleasure to travel now to Cannes and to travel to Paris and to Maldives and to Dubai to meet the top income earners in the world here with AURUM. And I get to hear so many stories, but I want to share one with you today. And it's that story that I'm going to call it, Meet John. Here's the story. It's called Meet John, and partners, everyone who can hear my voice. And for the translators, thank you so much. I'm going to get excited because I'm excited about this story, but I want you to imagine just for a moment, right? Just take a breath and just imagine for a moment that you're far away from home and you're not on vacation, but you're far away from home. And you're not in a position of strength, but you're far away from home, okay? And you're in another country because you're searching for something that can truly change your current financial reality. That's why you're there. That's why you're away from home. And that's where John, we'll call him John. The names may not be real, but the story is very real, okay? The story is real. The names may not be real. They may be real, but they may not be real. But, he found himself in a little more than 9 months ago in this exact same position. He landed in Dubai at one of the lowest points of his financial life. He wasn't there to take pictures or drink coffee in the beautiful cafes in Dubai. He was there on a mission because what he was doing at that time was just not working for him. All right. And he knew that he had to find something different to help support his family. That's why he was there. He arrived in Dubai with a return ticket. So he arrived in Dubai and all he's got is a return ticket, but he didn't have much else, if you know what I mean. No big savings, no big deep safety net and stash put away somewhere, just a determination not to give up on his family and his future. That's John, right? He started visiting companies in Dubai, hearing presentations, and you've heard them all, listening to words like opportunity and potential and future. But inside, and everyone knows this feeling, you know, when you get this feeling inside, when you've already been burnt so many times, you hear words, but something in you, something within you says, hey, be careful. You can't afford another mistake, you know, and that's exactly where John was 9 months ago, about 9 months ago. And then in the middle of those, you know, meetings, he came across something that just felt different. And the same with everybody probably that's listening to my voice right now. When you hear the AURUM story, it just feels different. He saw a way, and he just saw something about AI and finance, that they're being combined in a way that he'd never seen before, transparently on chain with a structure. And it made him stop and listen carefully. It made him stop and just pay attention. He just stopped. He sees all these other opportunities and he just starts paying attention. And he didn't understand all the technology when he first started looking at it. He wasn't an AI engineer. He wasn't an expert in this field, but he understood this. He understood that AI is changing everything. And who would disagree with that? AI is changing everything, and it's happening in real time. It's not happening in the future anymore. It's happening right here and right now. And then what he learned is that AI is going into banking. He learned that it's going into trading, and he learned that AI is going to be in every single part of how money actually moves. AI is going to be playing a big part. And if there's even a chance that this AI-driven finance model is real, this is what he was thinking. He says, I need to look deeper and deeper into this. If this is real, I think we found something here. So he did something really smart. This is the next part of his story. What did he do that was really smart? He registered for free. That was really smart. And the next thing that he did is he picked up his phone and he called a friend. And he didn't just call any friend. He called a friend who had spent years as a commercial pilot of some of the biggest planes in the world, jumbo cargo jets, the biggest in the world, like the 787s. That's who he called. You know, think about what that means. You know, you're responsible for a $200 million vehicle at 30,000 feet, you know, flying this massive machine of metal and outstanding technology. You know, as a pilot like that, you're trained to stay calm, even under serious pressure. You got to be calm, right? You're trained to use checklists. You're trained to evaluate the risk, you know, to make clear, disciplined decisions when it really, really matters. And that's who John called. I think, to me, that was genius. You know, and let's call this guy, you know, the names may not, like I said, the names may not be real, but the story is definitely real. We'll call him Dino. All right. And John said, hey, listen, I found something that's using AI finance in a way that I had never seen before. You need to really help me look at this thing if it's real. And Dino didn't, you know, what he didn't do is he didn't say, hey, bro, that sounds great. Let's go. That's not what he does. He did what any pilot would do. You know, he started researching. He started checking the details. He started asking not simple questions. He started asking the real hard questions. And he took the time to understand the logic, the structure. He took the time, you know, of course, he had to evaluate all of the potential risks. That's how he thinks, right? You got to evaluate your risks. And after going through all of this, and he went through his own due diligence, you know, Dino came back with a simple sentence that really changed everything for John. He calls him back and says, I'm in. Let's start. Let's go. That was his call. It was it. And then now, you know, I just want you to think, you know, when you get a call like this, we've all had them, right? Where I want you to think as a partner now, what does that do for someone's belief when someone that you know, like, and trust says, let's go. Let's do this together. Let's lock arms, right? When a person deeply trusts someone, trained in risk management and discipline and says, I'm in, it doesn't guarantee anything. Just because that happened, it didn't guarantee anything. But what it does is it turns a maybe into a real decision point. It turns something into a real, and something happens in that moment. And this is the cool part. It gets better, you know. John had a good gut feeling about the project, and he was ready. You know, Dino was ready, but there's still a big problem. What was the problem? John didn't have the money to get started 9 months ago. He had his flight ticket home, but financially he was almost empty. This is a true story. So he made another very, very difficult call. And this time he called his wife back home. And he says, honey, I know we're not in a really good place right now, but I found something and it's AI-driven finance space. I think this could be our path forward. And Dino's, and he told, hey, Dino's done some research here and he believes it's real serious, but we need to make a decision here. And then John said, please, this is awesome. I'll tell you how I know the story in a second, but he says, please check every crypto wallet we have. We need 120 USDT, not 120,000, not 1.2 million, just 120 USDT. And partners, if you're hearing me right now, I want you to hear this and I want you to feel this. For some people, 120 USDT is nothing. It's nothing. It's dinner. Dinner for two, maybe dinner for one, maybe dinner for two, right? But for others, at certain times of their life, 120 USDT could be everything, So his wife checked all the wallets back home and they scraped and they kept on looking at everything and they looked through all of their wallets. And guess what? They came up with enough to get started. Just a small amount just to get started and to access the platform as well, right? And 100 USDT, USDC, whatever you want to call it. And that's that's it. It was a $19.99 fee for the platform for the year and a minimum of $100. He got started on the XAI bot. That's the story on how John started 9 months ago. And from the outside, it looked really tiny, right? From the outside, from the inside, I guess that 120 represented a massive decision. It represented a massive, especially in the mind, we're moving forward with this. We're going to go all in with this, even with 120 USDT. Is this amazing? This is why I love this story. And I heard it in the Maldives, And basically what they were saying as a couple, we're not giving up on our financial future. We're not giving up on our financial future. We're willing to learn. We're willing to take a calculated risk in a sector that we believe has a real chance of massive growth. And that's so true. 9 months ago, they already saw this 9 months ago. Where we are today, we can't compare it to where they were 9 months ago. We're not even in the same atmosphere at this point, right? And in 9 months from now, we're not going to be in this atmosphere. We're going to be in another atmosphere, even bigger, better, faster, stronger. So that's the beginning of John's AI finance journey. No guarantees, no magic button, just a belief and the commitment and a tiny, tiny starting point. Get started. So what happened next? Weeks went by. No overnight miracle. We're not talking about that. When you hear 9 months, to me, that sounds like an overnight miracle, but we're not talking the next day, everything. No, just the things that we always talk about on Mastery. Staying plugged in, learning the system, sharing your story, taking consistent, easily duplicatable action over and over. Just stay consistent. And recently came a day that many of you remember. It was not too long ago. It was called Good Friday. Remember Good Friday? How long ago was that? Not too long ago from where we are right now. And on that Good Friday, everything came together for John. This is several months down the road. He hit a new rank in the AURUM system. I'm not going to tell you what rank he hit, but I can tell you this, in the exact second that he hit that rank, the system recognized his new rank and sent out a $500,000 bonus right into his account in real time, right there, live in real time. For John and his wife at that moment, it was more than just a financial reward. It was a sign. It was a big sign, a sign that his courage, when he had nothing, his courage, his belief, his experience of the past, that his family's 120 USDT decision, combined with the right AI-driven finance vehicle, he picked the right vehicle, right? Had created this turning point that changed his life. I believe he can, maybe we'll hear from him. Well, you got to come to one of the events to hear from him, live, to sit down with him and talk to him about his story. But there's many, 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 many stories. Now, fast forward just even from Good Friday, a few weeks later, Mariana, my wife and I were on a very, very small seaplane. Very small seaplane. We're in the Maldives, and we're flying from the Maldives airport by seaplane, 45 minutes to this little private island where we were gathering. And we're flying, the water was turquoise, it's just amazing. And we're headed to the resort, with the top AURUM leaders that they were gathering. And there were people from this very AI ecosystem called AURUM. And on that same plane that we were on, that's when I said, "Hey, that's John. Is that John? Are you with AURUM?" And then we started talking, right? And I wanted to know, I'm asking, tell me your story. Tell me about your journey. Now it's not the same John who landed in Dubai, by the way, that I met. It's not the same John who landed in Dubai, almost empty. This is a different John. This John was humble. He was still learning. That's why he was going to the Maldives. He wanted to learn more and more. But now, standing on a completely different financial path than he was just 9 months before. Just 9 months before. This story just absolutely is incredible. And at that event, John was awarded. He came up on stage and he got to share his story. That's where I learned a little bit more about his story. But it was just breathtaking to hear where he started and where he ended up. And he got to share it with everybody. He got to share it with all the leaders, from being, I don't want to say broke, but maybe not in a financial good position and far from home at this time, to scraping together 120 USDT, and that on that Good Friday when everything changed, it just happened to hit on the Good Friday. He gets this massive bonus, to where his journey in AI finance in the whole world has taken him just in, what's hard for most people to realize, that this just happened in a 9-month period, not 9 years, right? If you would have told me this story happened over 9 years, that's cool. But 9 months? Now, I want you to listen carefully to this, because his personal results, right? His personal results in the first 9 months, in terms of where he started, is over 1.5 million in 9 months. All right. And it's not yours. It doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to you. It's not a promise. Don't get crazy. This is not typical. This is not a guarantee, but we always have to be ethical and honest about that it's nothing is a guarantee. We don't give guarantees. But if you work, and if you just follow the simple system, anybody can do this. You never know who who knows someone who's sick and tired of having their money sit in the bank doing absolutely nothing except taking fees that you don't even know what those fees are for, But here's what we can't do as partners. We can't hear a story like that and just walk away saying, yeah, but it doesn't mean anything. Okay. John's story does mean something, Now there's many, 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 many more stories similar to John's that are here now. Some of you are on the call and say, yeah, you think John's story is great. Let me tell my story. And maybe we will. We'll keep on sharing stories after stories, because the stories are so inspirational. It means that inside this sector that we're talking about AI-driven finance. It's a whole brand new sector that there's nobody really. There's a lot of people dreaming about the sector. There's a lot of people with their blueprints and their white prints and their ideas and trying to raise money in this sector. AURUM is in the sector live right now. Everything that you heard is live and operational, not something in the future. And so it really demonstrates that with, belief and discipline and action, extraordinary things are really, really possible. Not guaranteed, not automatic, but it's possible. And John and now many, many, many others are showing us in real time what's possible. So I want you to write this down as we conclude here this evening. Just write down, I call it 2 words. Some people call it 3 words, but my 2 words are, it's possible. It's possible to take a look at John's story and say, let's see if I can duplicate his story in 9 months. Let's see. Oh, maybe I can't, but let me see if I can do it in 12 months. If I can duplicate his story in 12 months, right? You don't have to have all the answers when you get started. He certainly didn't when he got started, but guess what? He got started. You don't have to know the how, you don't have to know the when, but you do need to understand that it's possible, And as partners, your job is never, never, never to promise anybody any kind of result. That's not why we're here. We don't promise any kind of results. Your job really is to embody the belief, is to focus on your belief first in yourself, the belief in AURUM, the belief in your favorite part of the ecosystem, to be, the person that says to the world and proudly says to the world, I don't know exactly, what your journey is going to look like. I don't know exactly what your timeline's going to look like, but I do know this. And I'm saying this with confidence. In AI finance, I'm working with the right partners in the right ecosystem at the right time in history. And I do know this, that it's possible. And that's why AURUM has been built. Like, that's why there's a partner program together, right? That's why everything happens here. And that's why we're launching platforms just like you just heard tonight with Nero. It's our latest. But you know what? I was on an earlier call today with Ahmed, and guess what? There is more coming. There is more coming. There is more in the background that our genius technical team is working on. It's coming. We just have to announce it at the right time, right? And so I hope you're excited about this. And that's why we keep showing up to the events on the stages around the world. AURUM is a part of something really, really big, on all of the top, whether we're talking about the Cannes event with the Ethereum's, their European community event. AURUM was there sponsoring a VIP dinner. In Paris, AURUM was a sponsor and one of the most beautiful, booths that was in the whole event, in Maldives, everywhere around the world on all the top stages. AURUM is there telling the story, getting the word out and exposing the world to the beautiful sector of AI finance, because the world needs to hear this message, not hype, not empty promises, but a grounded, powerful truth that it's possible with AURUM. It's possible. So here's what I want to conclude with here. If John can start with 120 USDT far from home under severe pressure, financial pressure, if he can make, one more courageous decision, and that's what he did. He just made a courageous decision and a little bit of trust. If he can treat this like a serious path, not a lottery ticket. This is not a lottery ticket. You don't just sign up and say, what's going on here? How come my team's not growing? It does take energy. It does take effort. But if his story can turn into what it has become for him, then I want to ask you, then what about you? What can you do? Are you inspired yet? What could be possible? If you just take the time and start mastering the tools, understand the ecosystem a little bit more every day, understand the entire ecosystem. It's not a one-trick pony, one product company. It's an entire ecosystem. So over time, you want to start looking at this part and looking at this part and looking more deeply into this part. Show up to every training. Tell the stories that you're hearing ethically and powerfully. Tell the stories. Build with conviction if you really believe in it. That you're in the right sector at the right time in history. This is probably the biggest message that I'm going to share with you tonight. We are in a time in history where it's almost like there's no such thing as AI finance, but we're so far ahead. AURUM has 3 years of experience. AURUM has 3 years of experience already behind it, and people are just kind of learning what the heck is AI finance. And so, dear partners, it's your time now. It's your time, not just John's. And I can tell 100 other stories of people I met, not just my story. It's your story. If you feel even a little bit of that fire kind of reigniting in your chest, it usually starts in the chest and it goes down to the fingers. I want you to type in the words. Let's open the chat now. And if you really feel this, just type in for yourself, it's possible, right? It's possible. Let's open the chat and let's see if we can do that. Get these guys to type in "it's possible" into the chat. Let's go. Let's show some energy here. And let me just see if we can get this chat going. We'll just keep on going. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. So anyway, this is the type of energy that is really going to carry AURUM and this community to the next chapter of AI finance. And so what I want to do on behalf of the entire leadership team behind AURUM, people are working 24/7 for your, for you and for all the partners, the core developers and the massive team behind the scenes. I want to thank you and thank you for the belief in what you're doing for AURUM and your partnership. This is just the beginning. This is what I love about this. This is just the beginning. Someone said to me the other day, through the person that was introducing them, said, "Hey, am I too late? Am I too late for AURUM?" And I just started laughing. I said, AURUM is like a baby. Can you picture a baby just kind of learning how to crawl? That's AURUM right now. But this little baby that's learning how to crawl is going to be in the Olympics and take the gold medal in the Olympics. No, you're not too late. You're actually very, very early. So my name is Shane Morand, Chief Network Development Officer here at AURUM. And together, we're going to show the world that in AI finance, it's possible. So thanks to everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And we'll see you right here on the next call. Bye for now.